Hi, this is Kay with Girl Meets Meeple, and today I'll be reviewing Calico, a 1 to 4 player tile placement game. In this game, you will be making quilts, and you appear to be making quilts for the purpose of attracting cats that want to sleep on them. To do this, you will have to make patterns that the cats like. You can also collect buttons that will be points at the end of the game. Let's look at this in a little more depth. At the beginning of the game, 3 cats will be chosen. There will be a 3-point cat, a 5-point cat, and a 7-point cat, and there are several cats that come in the game to switch things up. Each of them have their own requirements. But she will also be assigned 2 of these black and white tiles at the beginning that tell you the patterns she wants. So for Millie, when you have any 3 of her 2 favored pattern pieces, or Callie, when you have them in this particular arrangement, you will take one of the little cat tokens, and it will have a 3 on the back. There are 2 because there are 2 different cats that look like this, but they're mostly the same. And you will drop it onto your quilt inside the pattern that she desires, and they can be any color for the cats. And they go up. But the 5-point cat wants 4 of any kind, or on this one 3 in a completely straight line, and this one is a 7-point cat, 5 of any or 4 in a straight line. And like I said, there are more cats in the bag, so as long as you have a low, medium, and high level cat, you are good to go. And then the pattern pieces will be dealt out randomly at the beginning of the game, so those will change up every game. You also have the buttons that you can get, and anytime you have 3 touching tiles that are the same color, it doesn't matter the pattern. In this case, the cats want the patterns. The buttons are all about colors, so 3 pinks or 3 yellows, 3 greens, purples, blues, light blues. And if you get all of them, they're worth 3 points apiece, and you can have multiples of them, but they have to be separated. But if you get all of them, you will also get this little rainbow button that you can add anywhere on your quilt, and it is also worth 3 points. So you get points from buttons, you get points from cats, track buttons with colors, cats with patterns, but there's more. You also have these little tiles that will be put on your quilt in the beginning of the game, and they give you extra possible ways of earning points. Like this one, if you surround it with none of the same either colors or patterns, so each one around it is unique, you'll get 10 points. If you manage to have no repeating color or fabric type, you'll get 15 points at the end of the game. And there are ones like this one that it wants 3 of one pattern and 3 of another or color, and that's 7 or 13 points. And this one, 2 of 3 different kinds. So as you're playing, you have to think about your placement on color, on pattern for your cats, and on these. Playing is very, very simple. You will have tiles in the center of the board. You will have 2 in your hand at the start of your turn. You will place one of those 2 on your board, check to see if you get a cat or a button, and then you will draw one of the center ones to your hand after that one is placed, and you will draw a new one from the bag to refill the center, and play passes. So the mechanics to the game, super simple. The choices in the game get surprisingly thinky. In the solo, it's very similar. You will have 3, you will still have 2 in your hand, you will have 3 tile pieces to choose from. You will choose one of them, and the tile piece, I can't remember if it says furthest from the bag or closest to the bag. I usually take the one furthest from the bag, is removed. So if you took the first one, that would mean the second one is removed. If you took the second or the third, the first one will go, and then that last one will move forward, and you'll draw 2 new pieces. So one piece will stay every round, and you'll see 2 new ones each round. And that becomes extremely thinky, both in the multiplayer and the solo, and it feels very similar whether you're playing either. So for some people, that will probably end up in the cons because it kind of is multiplayer solitaire, I suppose. For some people, that will be a plus. But I'm getting ahead of myself. Let's talk about components. These components are absolutely gorgeous. The boards are very thick. The tiles are all pretty easy to distinguish from each other. You can see lots of very bright colors, lots of patterns. They are easy to tell apart. The cats are absolutely adorable. The buttons are bright and colorful, very cute all over. The components are very nice. The only component that isn't eye-catching are these little goal scoring tiles. I kind of wish they would have blended into the pattern better, because at the end of the game you have this gorgeous board, but they kind of stand out. So let's talk about the good and the bad. What I like, what I don't. What do I like? This game falls into that niche of games that I'm starting to really appreciate, that have super simple mechanics but really thinky choices to make. This game, for being a game about making quilts and attracting cats, is surprisingly thinky. Especially in the solo game, I really found myself staring at this quilt trying to decide which piece I should take and which piece I would be leaving, hoping to get the next time if nothing better came out, and which piece would be okay which piece would be okay to discard, because I was trying to optimize all my points, and it was super thinky. I really enjoyed it, and of course the components are beautiful. That is definitely a plus. I also like that this has several different modes you can play in. There's also a family mode. You flip over these tiles and you don't have those points you can score, and you build your quilt just scoring points for cats and buttons, and that worked really well. Both of my children, even my 3-year-old, was able to understand that concept. He didn't work towards cats as much as he wanted every button in the game. He really wanted to earn a rainbow button. So his goal was all about colors. My oldest was trying to get all the cats, but everybody had fun, and it certainly wasn't as thinky as when you have these goals in there, but it was still a fun experience. And like I said, the mechanics being so easy, you'll have 2 tiles, you play one, you draw a new one from the center, it's replaced, and turn passes. Super simple mechanics, but wonderful choices to make on your turn regardless. So that is definitely a good. For me, the bad, honestly, there's not a whole lot I have to say bad about this game. My biggest complaint is I really do wish these pattern pieces were just a little prettier. They don't match up with the board that well. I mean, they fit on the board, obviously, they're the same shape, but when you look at them at the end of the game, they stand out as sore thumbs. So I wish they would have found a way to incorporate those a little bit better. So final thoughts on this one, I highly recommend this game. This is a game I kickstarted, and it was one of my more anticipated games of the year, and I was not in the least bit disappointed. This game is just a lot of fun to get to the table. I like that I can play it with my family or play it solo. I like that it's not something that is hard to teach someone else. Those simple mechanics really make it easy. Now, I haven't obviously gotten to go out and teach it to a lot of people, but I was able to very easily teach it to small children, so that tells you something, but it's still something that is fun for me to play. So that is Calico. I highly recommend it. Good game. Have you played it yet? Let me know in the comments below. In the meantime, thanks for watching. Happy gaming. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please consider liking and subscribing. And to see what I've been up to most recently, check out my Instagram. And for all our written reviews, please go to our blog. Thanks so much, and happy gaming.